Microphone checker. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. All right. What's up? Good morning. Can the people hear me? Are we out there this morning? It's been a while since I took a walk in the morning. Welcome in, everyone. Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. 2026 is almost over. 2025. 2026 is just getting ready to start. It is 7:14 in the morning, people. Sun is coming up here on the East Coast of the United States. I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you for participating in this walk and talk as we end this year off strong. Just want to say congratulations, people. You've made it through another year. We are here. As always, let's walk and talk with destiny, determination, and discipline this morning. Just back from Christmas vacay. What is that, Cheeto? Did you say Cheeto dust? What's going on? What's going on, Dust? Good to see you this morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hey, guys, what we want to talk about this morning is expectations for ourselves. Remember, all we talk about here is growth, discipline, and development. And that's through discipline. Discipline is discipline and development. So I guess that's a little circular there. But what we need to know, guys, as we go into 2026, we have to go in prepared to live with our blessings, to be strong, to be aware, to be knowledgeable, and to be unafraid, people. Do not fear what is to come. Let's dictate it. Let's control our destiny and our path. This morning on the walk, I want to talk about expectations that we set for ourselves and how we need to have as high of an expectation for ourselves that we have for others. Happy holidays. Been on vacation. Hey, I got you. Y equals hey. How you doing, Noah? Good morning. I've been on vacation. Family and I went down to the beach for Christmas, which was really fun. I did a little polar bear plunge during that process, which was an experience. Recently returned back home, spent the day traveling home. Now that we are back, I wanted to get out. Normally not a Sunday morning walk and talk, but because we hadn't been on in a while together, I wanted to get on and share. The year is rapidly proceeding to a close, people. We start talking about New Year's resolutions, next steps, growth, development, where we want to be in our future. Now is the time to start making those things happen. We have to, in this moment, take actions to make sure that we are preparing ourselves to be successful. Not to just show up, not to just go through another year, not to just count off another series of days, but as for us to truly be successful, we need to improve on our expectations for ourselves, our performance in our daily lives, and the standard that we set. Little view from the top of the hill, guys. Thank you again for being here and being a part. Welcome in. So expectations are important. Expectations are important because you cannot have accountability without them. You can't hold anybody accountable to what you want from them if you haven't set an expectation. They don't have a standard to live up to. I've made the mistake of being frustrated with behaviors without first setting expectations. I've done this for myself. I've done this with my children. I've done this in my relationships. I've done it in my marriage where there is no clear expectation set. And because there is no clear expectation, there is no standard. There is no accountability basis. It's just random things that are frustrating. And we have to, in going into 2026, you must. It's not about New Year's resolutions. It's about proactively creating for yourself a standard that will require for you to perform. Give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and put up a quick questionnaire, guys. Guess that's the only place you can put it is like right in your own face. I'm going to try to make this a little smaller. All right, guys, that's the question. That's the question I have right there is who sets your expectations? Who sets the expectations for you? Do you set your own expectations? Do other people set your expectations? Who is the determiner of your expectations? This is important, guys, because if you don't know who's setting the expectations for you, then you don't know you don't know exactly what your standards are, right? You need to know who's setting them so you can understand where to check in on accountability, where to check in on progress, where to check in on so many things. But for so many people, there is no adequate level or response for an expectation, right? Most people won't set the expectation for themselves. They don't like listening to advice and expectations that's given by others. They prefer to have everything happen on a let's see as we go basis. So you're never wrong, right? It's an interesting thing where hey, I didn't know it was a mistake, allows for so many people to forgo accountability. So let me kind of explain to you how this works. And this is why this question and answer is so important. So, a lot of young children, most of you guys know my wife and I have 7 young children. As a part of this development process for our children, one of the things is deer down through here, guys. If I start running, y'all bet not let nothing happen to me. So one of the things that I've seen happen recently is when there is no clear expectation set, whatever happens is like, okay, I don't know what the problem is. Like, I didn't do it. So, hey, let's get the laundry done. No clear expectation set as to when the laundry needs to be done, how to, you know, like things that you wouldn't think you need to set an expectation for in terms of how long to set the wash cycle for. In terms of when do you go check on it? How long to set the dryer cycle for? When you don't have answers to these things, what's going on, OG? When you don't have answers to these things and you don't have expectations set up for these things, you're gonna find yourself constantly getting to a point where it's like, oh, well, I know that's what you wanted. And I'm be completely honest with you, that's an out. It's not because part of the expectations are common sense. So there's some things, there's a really old saying, common sense ain't so common. However, we have these expectations that people will act and perform with common sense. But one of the things that happens is because we don't set clear expectations, common sense behaviors do not take place. When those common sense behaviors do not take place, we find ourselves at a point where we are now facing this frustration of not getting the results that we're looking for because we didn't give clear direction, standards, and expectations. So, how do we fix it? We need to start giving clear directions, standards, and expectations. So who sets your expectations, right? In your marriage, who sets your expectation? In your job, who sets your expectation? In your daily life, who sets your expectation? Who do you answer to in all of this? Who are you responsible to, right? Because if you're in a marriage, you have an expectation that your significant other has, but they may not have voiced. Some expectations have been set by behaviors. So you start to do things, and when you do those things at the beginning, the other person says, okay, this is an expectation, this is a behavior that you've performed on a consistent basis, and it's part of our agreement and contract in continuing this relationship. And you say, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Hold on, wait a minute. This is a nonverbal agreement to expectations. This is who you were. You're no longer meeting that expectation. And so when you're not meeting that expectation, there needs to be a conversation. Some expectations can't be met always at the same level. I remember when I was young, working out, whenever I would go to school, had a little girlfriend at school, an expectation is that when I would go to school and we would be down on the field, a little fence, I would come running, boom, jump, one hand, hips up, over the fence. Boom, land, get to her, pick her up, spin, quick kiss. All right, that's the expectation. Look, you see me coming, right? You see me coming from a mile away. That's what I do. So, I'm 53. Listen, me and this young lady were long since past. Don't even remember her name. Here's what I want to say, though. If my wife today expected me to greet her like that, we're going to need to significantly reduce the height of that fence. We're going to have some conversations around, look, 16-year-old me was performing some tasks and doing some things that 53-year-old me has decided otherwise. Not that it's a bad thing, only that it is a thing, it's a reality. So those expectations may change over time, but you have to have a understanding of that change in expectation, and then have a willingness and a intentional walk to create these new expectations. And so going into 2026, what we should be looking to do is not to set New Year's resolutions. It's not about what we resolve to do or what we are planning to do or say we're planning to do in the upcoming year. It's really about how are we going to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we know we should be doing no matter what. How does this play out? What does this mean to say this? Well, I'll put it to you like this. We're in a place in our lives, we're in a place in society, in today's world, where opportunities abound. More opportunities exist than we really have the ability to take advantage of. We have opportunities to grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We have opportunities to develop outside of the standard to which so many have been told in the past they're limited to. We have these opportunities to not only look to become more, choose to be more, but actually be more in that process. Having these opportunities, having the potential to do so and to be so, now forces upon us the resolve and the expectations, good morning, to actually start doing it. Right? Welcome in, Buffalo. The thing that's got to be stood on, the thing that we need to focus on as we go into the new year, the thing that we have to be prepared to do is we have to be prepared to understand that our growth, development, and opportunities lie within our own hands. It will require discipline and standards in order for us to be able to meet it. I don't care if you want to see growth in your faith, your finances, your family, your fitness, your career. It doesn't matter what area of your life that you're looking at. We must dedicate that this year, we must be determined, and we must be driven to understand that this year we're not allowing anyone else to set the expectation for what our life is going to look like, what our year, what our days are going to look like. We have to take control of this. How do we take control of it, guys? We have to take control of it with intentional daily behaviors. So we can't continue to allow days to pass and man, what's going on, man? I'm just chilling. Nah. See, you have to understand, even in the process of chilling, even in the process of relaxing, our bodies are constantly at work. Work isn't something we do as humans because someone gives us money. Work is something we do as humans because it's what humans do. It's who we are, right? So Buffalo says that Buffalo says me, I set my own expectations. We should be setting expectations for ourselves. And this is what I'm talking about as we go into 2026. If you want to take on 2026 and you want to truly show that you are no longer passively participating in life and you're actually living, then we need to understand that the process of living and being alive is the work that we do. And it's not based on compensation, it's based on growth and productivity. The body yearns to be productive. We as humans thirst to be productive. We seek out opportunities to be able to create and produce. Why is this important? It's important because when we understand that working isn't something we do to get money, that's a job, and you'll work on your job. Don't get me wrong, when you say, hey, I'm going to work, and you're going to your job to go to work, yeah, you'll work on your job, right? That is work, and there's a reward for it. And it's not just the money, it's the growth and the development. Top Gun, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you had a good holiday season, preparing for the new year. But not only do we have to understand that when we go on our job, we're going to work, even when we say, hey man, what you doing? Oh man, I'm working. You can work to grow your money, but you work to grow yourself more than your money. So Buffalo, I want to share this with you. Buffalo Truth, 716. I see you there. I want to share this with you. Jim Rome, John Rome. Come on, guys. Y'all know I get it wrong every time. Y'all correct me every time. But I'm going to say Jim Rome. O-line, never work harder on your job than you do on yourself. What that means is this. If you are going through the process of living your life, and there are opportunities for you to be, there are opportunities for you to be productive in the development of yourself, then you want to do that. Even on the company's dollar. If the company is teaching you how, if they're providing for you resources to be better at what you do that. I often use sports as an example because you can be a player in a sport on a specific team, and this team may be really good at this one thing that you do. They may be phenomenal at it, and they're paying you while they're teaching you this skill. And then you can understand and take that skill in and say, dude, that this is a phenomenal skill. And you can go somewhere else and get more money for it because you were able to grow and develop in that way. But that team didn't have a space for you to do that. But another team does. Another company does. Another job does. So you don't just work on your job for the purposes of getting that money, right? You work on this job for the purposes of developing yourselves. Exactly, Buffalo. Develop our minds. We want to develop our minds, our skill sets, our abilities, because when we understand and we maximize the growth and development that we can get from showing up at a job, then we're really starting to see ourselves move forward. We're really starting to see ourselves be capable of achieving things outside of a standard that the job wants to set. Sad to hear that, man. You were sick on both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Who'd you celebrate with? Man, listen, somebody should have been bringing you soup or something. You're sick on Christmas. And so that leads to the questions of who sets your expectations. Your job sets the expectations on how they They want you to perform, but you set the expectations on what you're going to get from it. Not only what you're going to get in terms of compensation, but what you're going to get in terms of development and growth. If you are not working on a job that is not willing to invest in seeing you become a better leader and a better team member and growing, if your job does not work on developing that part of you, there's no future in the job. And I'm not telling you quit your job. I'm just letting you know, if that's how you're working and that's the space you're working in, there's no growth, there's no potential in that job. Don't be mad because it is what it is. You now know. You know if you're working on a job, and I've said this before, if you're working on a job where the owner of the company is in there every day working next to you, doing what you're doing, there's no growth for you. You're just working a job next to somebody. They bought a job. There's nowhere for you to go. They're not going to leave. They're not going to turn it into a company. They're not going to turn it into a business. They just bought themselves a job. And a lot of business owners do that. A lot of business owners say that, hey, I own my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. No, you're a contract employee. You've just started a company and you've contracted yourself out for the services of it. You're not going anywhere. You haven't set up a system. You're not turning it over to people. Expectations have to be set. And so your company can set an expectation for itself. Company can set an expectation for you, but that is only for what you do for that company. If this company does not have an expectation for you to grow and develop, outside of the buttons you push for that company, outside of the things that you do for that company's not invested in your growth. You have to understand that. So there's no accountability. Okay, so if you have an expectation that you want to be a senior team leader or something or whatever it is in your company, and you go to them and you say, hey, there's this position in our company, I want to get there. What's the plan? What's the path? How do we do it? Then the manager comes back to you and they're like, oh man, everybody who's in that plan is, they went to an Ivy League college. Everybody who's in that plan, they're all members of the family. Everybody who's in that job position, they all, I don't need to talk to you. One, you don't know how to get there. You don't know how to get there, right? So now I need to say, here's my expectation. I need to know what's required of the company, what the company's looking for me to get there. That's the standard, that's the expectation that I set for the company. People, for so many of us, we have so many expectations that people set for us that we don't have any for ourselves, and then we don't have any expectations for the things outside of us. Your company expects for you to show up on time. Okay, I'm gonna show up on time. I have a tendency of believing that on time is 15 minutes early. That's just my personal principle. So my expectation is that if I'm on time, I'm 15 minutes early. And if I'm 15 minutes early, I'm getting to work. I'm clocking in. I'm checking my emails. I'm doing whatever other things I'm supposed to do. Company also has the expectation that I don't work more than 40 hours a week. That's fine. I'm letting you know every day I'm here 15 minutes early. And I do my work until my work is done. Sometimes it's about 15 minutes late. Over the course of 4 working days, I've added 2 hours to the hours that I've worked. I'm not trying to go home early on Friday. I'm not. But you say I can't get overtime. So now you have to make a decision. Do you believe that the work that I'm doing and the performance that I'm having and the impact on the business that I'm having is worth these couple of hours of overtime that you're paying me? Or do you not? If you don't believe it's worth it and you believe the expectations and the standards need to be firm the way they are, they will be, and I will be, and listen, I'm 37 minutes away from overtime. I'm 3 hours and 37 minutes away from punching this clock to go home. What you want me to do? See, that's setting an expectation. That's setting a standard. So when you do that, and a lot of companies do this, where they box themselves in, They draw these hard lines in the sand. I'm not going to do it. It can't happen this way. It can't be that way. That's absolutely fine. I am not trying to change the expectations and the standards that you have for your company, but I do know that I have my own. And I'm going to share with you what mine are. Now let's work. Danny says, I put 68 hours last week, but that's with Saturday. Sound like you work for UPS, Dad. They be, look, UPS be putting them out there. The delivery services, man, they were like, you want 70 hours a week? And they got a crazy pay schedule. Hey guys, if y'all are looking for somewhere to make money, UPS is normally hiring. They got about 2 times a year. I don't have any skin in the game. I need to get some stock in the company at least if I'm gonna be offering it. But dude, their compensation is next level. It's pretty sweet. It's not a bad deal. Check it out. Let me see. Sadeep said, hey buddy, remember me? Me and my brother-in-law's wife. Me and my brother-in-law's wife have filed for divorce. We are now going to settle in Canada soon after divorce. Danny, oh, welding, lots of money in welding, all right. Welding UPS trucks, hey Sadiq, hey man, do your thing, live your life. Y'all are right, listen, that's a very interesting story. I'm pretty sure it'll be on the Hallmark Network in a few years. But thanks for checking in, how were your holidays? Dude, stop it. Come on, Cheetah Puff, stop it. Hey guys, but this is what I'm trying to say. It is truly about the expectations. Who sets your expectations? Are you setting expectations for yourself, or are you only living up to the expectations that others set for you, right? So for example, when we go back to talking about work, and again, this is for everything. This is for leading into 2026, guys. We cannot go into 2026 passive. You don't have anything to distract you this year, right? Coming into 2025, we had the presidential election, you had wars everywhere, you had so many things to distract you that you weren't focused on yourself. You're like, oh my God, where's the, you were like every which way to go. You don't have those same distractions this year. You don't. Things have been happening, stuff is going on, you know. We got a president, he does stuff. You got other countries, they do stuff. By this point, it's getting a little numb. It's hard for them to get into the news feed. Like they can't even say ridiculous enough stuff anymore for it to pop up regularly on your news feed. You got to look for it now, which means you're looking for a distraction. So we can stop doing that. We can focus on ourselves going into 2026. What are you trying to do in 2026? Who's setting your expectations in 2026? Who's setting your standards? Who's setting your behaviors? Something for you to hold yourself accountable to. Not to just say, hey, it's my New Year's resolution to lose 20 pounds. No, what's the expectation? My expectation is that in this year, I will change my eating and exercising habits. I will become healthier, both in the way that I think, the way I speak, behave, exercise. Everything about it is going to change. And I need to set these specific expectations of I do not eat past a certain time in the evening so that I remember to eat before that time. I make changes to when I stop doing things, when I turn the TV off, when I stop communicating with people. All of these things have to be specific. I want to make changes in my finances, all right? So I know I need to put money aside. I need to make it repetition. So versus me just moving money once a pay period or moving money once a month, I'm going to start doing it daily. I'm going to break down whatever amount of money I'm moving, and I'm going to move it daily over that entire 90-day period so that I can create this repetition and this behavior of investing. The things that are going to be important for us in this upcoming year, these things, these actions that we want to take over this upcoming year, and requires us setting these expectations and then having a way of holding ourselves accountable. We're down to the last few days, guys. Last few days. It's not about a New Year's resolution. It's about an everyday commitment to development and growth. Are you committed to your own development and growth? Are you prepared to set expectations for you? Pablo says me, he says he sets them. Let me see. What else do we have here? Some guy who lives down by the river, set your expectations. Guys, here's the thing. For our own growth and development, for all the things that we say we want to do, we have to get to a point now that we hold ourselves to a standard that we hold others to. We have to get to a point where we start to say to others and expect from others the things that we really want to see. We have to start to say, hey, I have this expectation that you will do this thing and that you will be on time because you said you were going to be on time, that you're going to be ready because you said you're going to be ready, that you're going to show up and you're going to go because you said you were going to show up and go. We have to start to set these expectations for ourselves as well. Are you going to be ready? Are you going to get up and go? You set the expectation of saying that you wanted to challenge yourself more. Okay, myself, I set my expectations. Are they true expectations? Or are they just refusals to meet other people's expectations? If your expectation for you, and a lot of people say I set my own expectation, right? If your expectations for you are to not meet somebody else's expectations, then you don't have expectations. You're creating deficiencies. If anyone has an expectation for you that you don't want to meet, you don't have to consider it. You set your own expectations. If your expectations are being set based off of other people's belief or view of you, then you're not setting your own expectation, they are. You're just setting it counter to what they've said. They said, I'm going to be a failure. My expectation is I'm going to prove them wrong. No, it's not. You're still trying to meet or surpass an expectation that they set. We have to create our own and then answer to them. Jesus has my soul, said God sets my expectations. God bless you. Phantom says, even after informing them, I still expect a little out of people and so much out of myself. We have to have expectations of others. Thank you so much, twin. Surviving the greed of older generations that demand eternal profit mostly, at whose greed has made everything absurdly expensive. All right, I see what you're saying, Cheese. Be a person of your word. Listen, you saying something there, that's a mouthful. You got to back it up with your behaviors. Everybody thinks, oh, my decisions determine who I am, my choices tell the people who I am. No, your decisions do. You can choose to do something, but until you actually do it, it's just a choice. What do you want in your sandwich? Mayonnaise or mustard? Mayonnaise. They sit the mayonnaise in front of you. If you don't put it on there, you haven't made that decision. You've made that choice. So when you want to make sure that you're a person of your word, you can make a choice. And when you verbalize that thing, you got to back it up with behavior. And you have to do that to yourself as well. You have to set a standard and put a word for yourself and say, hey, here's my expectation for me. And then you're going to have to back it up with behavior. And if you don't, you need to sit yourself down and have a feedback conversation. Look, we didn't choose to do these things because we believed they were going to be easy. We didn't set these standards and choose this path because we thought this is the quickest way for us to get somewhere. We made this decision and we moved along this path because we understood that there was somewhere we were trying to get to. There's something we're trying to get done. Now that requires of us to act and behave in a certain way on a regular basis. Here are the things that we have been doing. Here are the things we have not been doing. Here's how the things that we have not been doing have impacted our development and growth. Here's how the things we have been doing have impacted our development and growth. We still have a plan and an expectation to get somewhere. It is going to require for us to do the work. That's a feedback conversation. It's not about putting you down. It's not about patting your back and making you feel great. It's about talking about the realized and real expectations that you have and that you start working on achieving them, versus just sitting there and looking at them, versus just talking about them. Andy said, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble on its own. You don't worry about tomorrow, but see, here's the thing. Don't believe that not worrying about tomorrow is the same thing as don't take action today. That's not what that means. It means don't worry about tomorrow because you can't act on tomorrow. You can act on today. And if you act appropriately on today, when tomorrow becomes today, you are in a better place to be able to continue to take action. Andy, it's not possible for someone else's doubts of me will ever be stronger than my self-belief. True, you can have your self-belief, but make sure you also have self-behaviors and self-actions and self-accountability, right? Dude, I'm telling you because I've lived the experience of saying over and over again how much I set my standards, I set my expectations, I determine who I am, I say where I'm going. No one else can define me. No one else can tell me what I can or can't do. I have nothing to hold me back. And then when I don't hit that mark, when we don't hit that mark, if we're taking it all on us and we're saying, I set my expectations and I determine where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do, when we get to that point where it's time to say, hey, where have you gone? What have you done? We have to check in on us. We can't go to the other people and say, oh man, I would have made it, but you know how they act over there in that department. You know how they do over there where I come from. You know how they treat us down there in that place. We can't say, hey, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to take these actions and I'm going to act appropriate and I'm going to set my own expectations. And then when we fail to meet those expectations, blame others. Can't do it. How you doing, Pale? J6R. And so what are we trying to say? It's possible for us. I want to go back up and try to read some of these comments. I appreciate you guys being here. Hey guys, it is now 7:56 in the morning. I want to say thank you for being here. I think that's Chinese, ni hao. That's how you say good morning or hello. I want to appreciate you guys being here and participating. I think it's really important for us to have this conversation about who sets our expectations, because we have expectations in so many areas of our life. If you are not where you want to be, if you're not seeing what you want to see, because here's the thing, you have to understand it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. If you're not seeing what you want to see on your way to where it is you want to be, then you need to take a look at yourself. It's not about the completion of it. You don't go to college just to graduate, just to get a job. If anything, you go to college for the experience. You meet people you've never known. You're challenged mentally, emotionally. You're challenged socially. Your boundaries are broken because you're in a mix of people who you've never met before. And you have the ability to learn. You're not just at your job to get a paycheck. You're there to learn, to meet people. You're there to understand the people who you work with, the businesses, the different companies that you work alongside. These are experiences. This is part of the journey. If you hate your job, I mean, we have people who say, I hate my job. and money don't make you happy, then why are you working that job? "2026 people, set expectations for yourself." We have to start to set these expectations with the understanding that it's going to require us to do the work. We can't keep waiting for other people to figure out how to make us happy. We can't keep waiting for other situations to figure out how to make us happy. We have to start to do it. Phantom said, just don't cheat yourself and move the goalposts. Meet that standard and stand on what's spoken. Indeed, and enjoy the process. It's difficult. Listen, we're not saying that we're going to set expectations and everything's going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. We have to understand that when we're living the way we're living and we're growing and we're taking steps. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome in. MZ. Is that MZ? All right. How are you doing, MZ? Everyone, thank you for being here. I want to appreciate you for being here. I want to take a second to say this. My name is Oloropo Bird. You're here, you're watching me on BNV Finance Fixers. What we do here is we talk about growth, development, determination, and doing it all with discipline. There are many areas of your life that you can grow. Fixing your finances is one of those areas. Understanding that finance is simply the process of investing, getting together the capital and resources necessary in order to complete a specific task. That's financing. And so when I say fix your finances, I'm talking about fixing the way you gather your resources, you gather your items, and you gather your time and energy to build the thing that you're trying to see as your life. So in order for you to fix your finances, it must start with discipline. Discipline has 4 simple pillars: repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. When you follow those 4 pillars, you're going to be able to see this fix, not only in your monetary finances, but in your relationship finances, in the financing of your life, the financing of your time, the equity and return from the investments that you make. But it will require of you to invest into those things. And the first investment is an investment in self-awareness. And then that self-awareness has to set you up for accountability. You have to be self-aware, you have to hold yourself accountable, and then you have to act and live with discipline, because the journey is part of it. We should be enjoying it. Stop going to jobs you say you hate. Either learn to love the experience that is that job or get another job. Stop going to jobs you say you hate. Phantom says, I know that's right. Disrespect outweighs money. I'm not staying where they ain't paying, and I ain't playing about mine. It's true. You don't want to go somewhere on a daily basis where you're not happy. You don't want to go home every day if you're not happy at home. You don't want to go somewhere and you're like every day, oh man, I hate being here. You have to start to change. We have to start to change what we see as our expectations and our standards. We have to start to change what we see as the world around us and how it works and moves. Stop trying to stop the planet. Your expectations can't be that everybody else slows down to meet your speed. You can just want money, that's fine. I'm not one of these people who are gonna lament or belittle you because you say you just want money. Go get it. You can just want money, but just be ready to do what it takes to go get it. You have to make that decision. I can't make that decision for you. I can't tell you what you can and can't do to go get money. I can show you some of the things that I've done to build my own wealth, to develop my own sense of understanding the financial security. Those of you who watch the channel know I'm not a big fan of financial security. We have a popular consensus that the purpose of money is to make more money. That's what money does. Money is useless in the hands of consumers. It's useless. If your money, all money does is make more money. If your money isn't making more money for you, then your money is making more money for somebody else. Let me see. Cookie says, but do you think that to start accountability, it might be good to get a boring job, but at least you're up, or just go straight for better job that will need school? So boring doesn't mean it's a bad job. Understand wherever you're working is where you're agreeing to work. There's a contract. When you fill out that application and then you start signing off on those W-2 forms or whatever the paperwork is, you're agreeing to a contract of being compensated for your time. If you haven't asked the company in that interview process, hey, what are your expectations of development and growth for the people that work for you? If you haven't asked that conversation, that's on you. You don't necessarily need to go to school. There are a lot of people who are doing things who haven't gone to school. I trained a young lady who became a bank manager and then moved up inside of the company because she started working there not knowing what she wanted to do for college. And then when her friends finished college, she was a manager at the branch of the bank, and they got mad because she told them, I could hire you as a teller. So just because the job is a little boring doesn't mean that it's bad. Doesn't mean that you have to go to school. You have to figure out what it is you want and then work towards that. A lot of jobs require schooling. A lot don't. Everyone is under the impression that in order for you to be able to make money and to live well, you have to go to school and build debt and then pay off the debt. That's not true. That's a whole different conversation. Wisdom says respect is more valuable than being a mere disciple. When it comes to achieving financial freedom, explore different options, take calculated risk, and invest in yourself and reach finance. Well said. I love it, Wisdom. Thank you very much for sharing. Don't just be ready to leave when the money's not what you want. Trust me, so many times you're gonna be ready to leave long before the money gets bad. Here's the thing. I've always shared this advice. I had a gentleman who was working at a company with me, and he's like, man, I'm sick of it here. I was like, man, don't leave because you're sick. Don't leave because you don't like it. I just told you guys, hey, if you're working in a job every day and you don't like your job, you either need to figure out what it is about the job you don't like, learn to appreciate it, or find another job. But here's the thing. Don't leave this job because you don't like it. Don't you do that, because there's no guarantee that the next job you're going into you're going to like either. If you're leaving here, leave here because there's something different in your life that you're looking for, and you found somewhere that's going to give it to you. Don't just go looking for somewhere else to work. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to wind up with the results and the benefits that you're looking for. We have to know the difference. Hi Bye says, professional yapper over here all the time. Thank you for stopping in, Hi Bye. I figured financial discipline is partially within the lines of what you want now. Is comparison to what you want the most. Be responsible enough to see the life you wish to live. We do need to be responsible enough to see that. We also need to be prepared to take the actions. Respect and love, 2 goals to be happy in life. Thank you for sharing, Wisdom. Wisdom says, look for a job you like. Take risk. World is full of options. Think in that way. There are lots of options, lots of opportunities, lots of ways for us to grow. Which is why I'm saying that we have to start setting the expectations. For so many of us, our expectations are set by society. Society says that you should be doing this. Oh, when someone else was your age, by the time my dad was this age, he had done this, this, and this. Oh, our generation used to do this, this, and this. Every generation has gotten progressively better at being humans. Listen to me. Every generation has gotten progressively better at being humans until your generation. Whatever your generation you're in, I don't care what generation you're in, you believe that the ability to grow and be human has stopped with your generation. And the generations before you were horrible, and the generations that are after you are even worse. And that your generation is the generation that has done the most to make the world better. We all think that. We all think this generation, my generation, oh, this other generation. Who are we to say that? We have to stop. If what we did between 1950 to 1975 moved us forward as a nation and as a species, then what we did between 1975 to 2000 should have moved us forward as a nation and as a species. Which means what we did between 2000 and 2025 should have moved us forward as a nation and a species. We look at things and we say, man, it's never been worse. Of course it's been worse. 100 years ago, people were dying in this country because they were hungry. In the 1920s, dude, the concept of working together, it was freaking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome in the 1920s. Shoot, what did 50 albums say? Get rich or die trying? Man, get bread or die trying. That's what the 1920s looked like. Oh, it's never been worse. Of course it's been worse. We have to start to set expectations and understand that development and growth happens whether we want to participate in it or not. So you got to risk it to get the biscuit. We got to do it, man. We have to be prepared to put it out there. We have to be prepared to take actions, to take the steps, to start taking the strides and making the moves that are going to get us to where it is we want to be. We have to stop blaming others. We have to stop blaming the system. We have to stop blaming situations. We have to stop blaming generations. We have to start to take action and take a stand. Going into 2026, people, fixing our financial issues, fixing our finances and our lives and our relationships and our faith and our job is going to require for us to take on the accountability of discipline. It's a very simple thing. Discipline is simply you saying that I'm going to start to do things with repetition. For a lot of us, we don't have that. For a lot of us, we don't have it. We don't have the ability to just show up. Second, patience. No, it's not going to be fixed tomorrow. It's not going to be perfect first thing in the morning, but it's going to get better. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to see more. We're going to continue to develop. Consistency. You cannot be consistent at something to which you do not have the skill or ability to perform. That's what the repetition and the patience is about. It's how you gain the skill. It's how you learn how to do it. You can't be a good employee if you don't show up on time and you don't focus on trying to be a good employee, on learning how to be a good employee. All of these things are going to require for us to take actions and steps in accountability of ourselves. Once we start to do that, then we'll start to persevere. That perseverance is the salting of the soul. It's that thing that lets you know you've been through some challenges, you've been through some tough times, you've overcome some difficulties, and you've continued to press forward. And when the standard and the mark was too low, you raised the bar. And when the bar was too high, you understood that you had to keep going. And maybe it's not just changing the direction we're going, but the way in which we're climbing. And we have to see that and grow. Those are the things we have to do. Adar, yes, good morning. I remember what you were saying about running for the exam. Good morning, Montana. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. It says, desperation is the mother of invention. Repetition is the base for all learning. Basis for all of it. All learning must start with us performing this task over and over again. I have a video that it's posted on my family channel, The Baby Birds, where I use this song to teach all of my younger children how to spell their names. And it's just a little rhythm. And for my daughter Soren, we were at the table and we started singing, my name is Soren and I like fruit. I like to dance and wear my boots. When you see me, you say toot toot. Now spell my name, 'cause it's so cute. S-O-R-E-I-G-N, S-O-R-E-I-G-N, S-O-R-E-I-G-N. I'm Soren, I win. Yay! I sang that song once. Second time I sang it, she started spelling her name with me. 3 years old, here's what I'm trying to say to you. Repetition, rhythm, and pattern, we have to start doing it. You can do it for yourself. I'm not saying you gotta sing the Baby Bird spell your name song, but sometimes my name is David. I go to work. Challenges are real. Sometimes it hurts, but I can do it. Oh, yes, I can, 'cause I'm David and I'm the man. Listen, sometimes you have to find the rhythm, whatever that thing is, that gets you up and says there's this expectation. There is no one cheering. There is no crowd. There is no motivation. It's rainy. It's 9 days before payday. And I've been broke for 2 days already. And the only thing that I'm doing right now is I'm continuing to work on me. I'm continuing to grow me. I'm continuing to develop me. And I get up because I am important enough for me to get up and work on. Not because the job tells me I have to get up. Not because someone else's schedule tells me it's time for me to get up, but because I care about me and I'm getting up for me. The things that we understand and the things that we do and the way that we live, the things that make us the people who ultimately we say we want to be, starts with us. It starts with the work that we're prepared to do. Starts with the time that we're prepared to invest. People, if we're not prepared to do the work and we're not prepared to invest the time, we need to stop setting these expectations to achieve it. It is on us to do what's necessary and be where we need to be. Thank you so much for being here this morning, people. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to stop in, check in with me. If you haven't done so yet, please double tap, hit that like button, whatever it needs in order for you to put a little like in. Doesn't cost you anything. It's just a great way to support the channel. Understand, as we go into 2026, our membership tiers will start to focus directly on the behaviors and the actions required in order for you to make these fixes in your finances, in your future, and develop yourself. Develop what you're wanting to see. Develop you along the course of the journey. It is important to remember that our actions are taken not for us to create or to elicit actions in others, but in order for us to be able to achieve our goals, in order for us to be able to grow. These are the reasons that we do the things we do. Continue to focus on yourself. Continue to set expectations. Ask others to set expectations for you and then work to meet them. I want to appreciate you all for being here today. I want to thank you for taking the time, for stopping in, walking with me. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your thoughts. Before we go, Phantom, thank you very much for the shout out. Thank you so much for being here. I'm in the United States. Thank you for asking. Again, you guys, it's been a pleasure having you on this morning. It's great. I want to have you guys back again. Join us again. And as you go out onto this Sunday, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go into next week strong. And remember, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Until next time, guys, take care. Have fun. God bless.